Hi, my name is Faruk and this is the brand new M5 MacBook Pro 14-inch with everything maxed out. And today we're gonna see how this performs next to the monsters I have in this house. And here it is. $3,350 maxed out M5 MacBook Pro comes in this nicely designed box. After we rip off these seals, we're greeted with the M5 MacBook Pro itself. But let's put that aside for a second to see what else is in the box. 2-meter USB-C to MagSafe 3 braided cable, some papers, instructions about how to clean the nano texture display, polishing cloth that comes with the nano texture display, and 70-watt charger. Just like all MacBooks, M5 MacBook Pro comes in this nice paper. As soon as we open the lid, the MacBook turns on. This MacBook Pro has 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, 1 HDMI port, 1 XT-XC card slot for your memory card, headphone jack, and MagSafe 3 port. Even though there's no stickers and new laptop smell anymore, the space black MacBook Pro looks really cool. But we're not here for the looks, so let's jump into the tests. Let's begin with Geekbench because it is a little interesting. When it comes to multi-core score, M5 MacBook Pro scores higher than many other, including M1 Ultra Max Studio. M1 Ultra Max Studio was not in that graph, so let me add it here. Let's look at that. Now let's switch to single core score because I want you to see this. When it comes to single core score, M5 MacBook Pro easily takes the lead. And then when we look at the compute score, especially compared to the other device with similar core count like M4 iMac, the result looks pretty good. What makes M5 chip special is that it has neural accelerator built into each core of its GPU. So for example, when I go to image playground, it creates an image quite fast. Actually faster than my M4 Max MacBook Pro. But there's also another app called Draw Things. And when it comes to this app, this thing also runs things locally on this device. The results are like this. M5 MacBook Pro finishes this task faster than M4 Pro Mac Mini. Now that we've seen those, now let's move to Geekbench AI. And when it comes to Geekbench AI, M5 MacBook Pro gets very high scores and it takes the lead in neural engine health precision and quantize. And then when we look at the results of Cinebench 2024, it is right behind M2 Max MacBook Pro that has 38-core GPU. Just like in Cinebench GPU, in CPU multi-core test, M5 is ahead of M2 Max MacBook Pro. However, in CPU single-core test, yep, you guessed it, it takes the lead with ease. I also did a stress test where I ran the Cinebench for 30 minutes to see what happens when this thing heats up, and the results are really good. After 30 minutes, the GPU score went from 5,998 to 5,931, which is almost nothing, and the CPU went from 1,139 to 1,120. And during these couple of days while I was using this machine, I really didn't experience much heating up or anything like that at all. And when it comes to SSD speed, when it comes to writing, this is hanging out with them big boys with no problem at all. And when it comes to read speed, it actually kicked their asses. Now let's look at Blender and render this ship. In GPU mode as expected, M5 MacBook Pro finishes the task faster than M2 Max MacBook Pro. And for funsies, I've been doing this for a while now, I ran the same test using CPU, and in this case, M5 MacBook Pro finished faster than iMac M4. Now when we look at logic and when we bounce this spatial audio from Lil Nas X, M5 MacBook Pro finishes faster than M2 Max MacBook Pro. And then when we switch to Final Cut Pro and do a noise reduction test, M5 MacBook Pro finishes faster than iMac M4 and M2 Pro Mac Mini. And when it comes to exporting a video in 8K to ProRes 422, it is faster than iMac M4, but it finished right behind M2 Pro Mac Mini. And now let's switch to Lightroom. In Lightroom, I exported 100 photos that were shot with Sony A1 in RAW format. I converted them to JPEG, all 100 of them together. While exporting these, M5 MacBook Pro was really close to M2 Max MacBook Pro. And then I picked an edit and pasted to 100 of these raw photos, and it was only 1 second slower than Mac Mini M4 Pro. When it comes to gaming, to me, the only game is Cyberpunk lately. And by that I mean 4 years now. Last of Us and Cyberpunk. I was able to get 60 frames per second constant. I was even able to go higher, but then I think it's doing like upscaling and then putting frames in between. I didn't like what I was seeing, but in the recommended settings for MacBook Pro, it was really nice, and I was getting, as I said before, 60 frames per second, and it was a lot of fun to play. And I'm actually very surprised, happily surprised that that was happening. As you can see, we have the nano texture display. I love this display. It's debatable. Some people like it, some people don't like it. I love it. I love that there's no glare or anything. Now when it comes to size and weight, I've been with 16-inch MacBook Pros for a real long time. This is my first 14-inch MacBook Pro. And actually this thing is really nice. It is small, but not too small. It is not big enough as 16. And if you have like an iPad Pro, or if you have an iPad, you can have it as a second screen. I always travel with a MacBook and an iPad because I always use the iPad as second screen. But I think this size and the weight and everything about it is actually really cool. I'm liking this. When it comes to battery life, it is too soon to tell what is happening with the battery life of this. As far as I've been using this, I haven't seen anything that stands out that may be alarming, that it seems like it's doing really well. I can tell you the results. If you follow me on Threads, I usually post those kind of things immediately over there, and I'm planning to make a long-term video about this and a complete review about this product. I will mention it over there. But in the couple of days I had this device, battery life seems to be fantastic. Also, I did a Geekbench test when I switched this device to low power mode, and that looks really interesting. Because M5 MacBook Pro can really dial things down in both multi-core and single-core, which may mean it will have an even better battery life during light tasks. And when it comes to speakers, I can't get this out of my system. Baby, I'm just wired different. So to start up, but I'm new from day one. I don't know a lot. It is fine. The speakers are fine as well. As a power user, as someone who uses the latest and greatest devices, and as someone who pushes those devices to its limits, this MacBook Pro, it's a very promising device. And I love that it is doing all of this with a lower price. This is 8K video. We're scrubbing 8K video, and it is doing really well. So thank you so much for watching this first impressions video. This is what I've been seeing. This is technically what this device is doing. And so far, I'm not seeing anything scandalous, any shenanigans that I can report to you. Everything looks fine. I like the price. I like where this is going. And I seriously cannot wait the Max and Ultra version of this chip, if it ever comes out. But as usual, what I'm curious about is what you think. What do you think of this device? Is this something you're going to be picking out? If you're picking it out, are you going to be getting the maxed out version, or what are you doing? Let me know. What are you going to use this for? I love reading your comments. Let me know in the comment section below. And until I see you the next time, take really good care of yourselves, and hoşça kalın.